Hello, welcome to our next tips and tricks. Today I'm going to be talking about the transition area, which is a new part to a lot of people if you are new to triathlon. So transition area is where you set up your bike, where you come in from the swim, get to your bike and your gear, you'll head out onto the bike course, come back into the transition area, which is called T2 or transition 2, and then head out for the run. So when you're getting ready for the transition area, you've checked in, you've registered, you've got all your gear ready, you've got your helmet stickers on, your bike stickers on, that'll be all outlaid in our rego area. Walking into transition area, what you'll need, your bag of gear, but you'll need your helmet on. So they will ask you that as you walk into transition area, our tech officials will check. So you just want your helmet fastened as you walk into your transition area. Once you are in, you'll make your way to a rack. Ours, you can choose anywhere you like. Now here I've set up, what happens is one bike will face one way and then the next bike will face in the opposite direction. So you can see this bike is facing and will head out that direction. My bike here will be coming out in this direction. You can rack your bike a couple of ways. You can rack it by the saddle like that, or you can rack by the handlebars in that fashion as well. But the reason why you'll see most people rack by the saddle is because it's fastest. And what you're trying to do in transition is get in and out as fast as possible. So when you're coming to your bike, you'd be just dropping it off and rolling it out that way. If it was racked on the handlebars, you'd have to take it off, turn it around to then head out. So racking by your saddle is the fastest way, and that's what we're trying to do. Now you want to get all your gear out. So hopefully you've checked the race day checklist that we've put up, making sure you've got all your bits and pieces in there. One of the things we recommend is a nice bright towel. So something that's going to distinguish your transition area. Because if you think about when you've gone out on the bike and you come back, the only thing to know where your bike needs to go back is something distinguishable on the ground. So a nice bright towel or anything that's distinguishable for you. When you're looking at your bike, your transition area is to the right-hand side. You may see some people say, oh, change side of your bike, but that's not correct because people rack their bike differently. So you might rack by handlebars or saddle, like I spoke before, which changes which side of the chain is on your bike. So when you're looking at your bike racked in the transition area, the right-hand side is where you want your little transition area to be. So nice bright towel down to start with. Then you want to think about logically how you're going to set up for the equipment that you're going to need. So bike shoes and runners, or just runners if you're using runners on the bike. A couple of ways to do it. You can have bike shoes on the ground, or some people will have their bike shoes racked on their bike, so clipped into their bike already. If you're having on the ground, make sure you've got them open, ready to go, so ready to slip your feet straight in. Same with your shoes, so your runners. So thinking about, you're going to go bike shoes first, so you're going to have them as the first placed shoe, and then your runners would go behind there. On top of that, now there's lots of different ways you can set up a transition area. You don't have to do it like this, but this is how I coach athletes to do it, to make it, as I said, you're trying to make it as seamless as possible. Helmet, you can either rack here, make sure your straps are out, not clipped up, because you don't want to have to do anything extra or anything more than necessary. So helmet sitting on top of your shoes there, or if you have, say, a TT bike and you can sit it up here, you see some people, they might hang it on the bars there like that. So whatever your preference is. Main thing is, I say, is don't try and think you're on race day. So how you might want to set up your transition area, do that at home, have a practice at home and see whether it works for you. Today, I'm just going to sit mine down there so you can see. You then want your sunnies. So a pair of sunnies. Ours is a twilight event, but this time of the year, it is still sunny. So again, have them ready to go. So as I come in, they're just going to go straight on. So you don't want to have them like there and have to open up your sunnies and then put them on. So have them in there ready to go. Hat, if you want to wear a hat, where I tend to put that is just underneath your runners. So you've got your runners on, then you're grabbing your hat, running out and putting it on as you run out of transition. Again, anything you can do while you're moving makes it faster. I'm going to tip out all my little bag of tricks here. Goggles and swim cap, you'll obviously take them down to the swim start with you. Make sure you've got a bottle of water set up in your bike, filled up, nice cold water. It's going to be a warm night. Think about whether you're going to take spares with you. Are they going to be in a pocket? Are they going to be in a saddlebag on your bike? You can see this one, it's in here is spares in there. So have a think about if you're going to take spares in the unlikely event that you get a flat. We don't have a mechanic out on course, so you would need to make your way back to transition if you got a flat. But the great thing is with our course is the furthest you would ever be away is less than 2 kilometers. So other things that you might have in your transition bag. So talcum powder, this is on my race day checklist. Great thing to do with talcum powder, sprinkle it in your bike shoes, sprinkle it in your runners, and that just helps your shoes slip on with ease. If you are going to be using socks, have them in ready to go. Again, kind of roll them up a little bit so you can try and get them on as quickly as possible. Vaseline can be handy, so you might want to put a little bit of Vaseline on any rub points of your shoes, so particularly if you are going to run with no socks. So you might put in here and here a little bit of Vaseline. Any rub points that you might get from running as well. Another one I've got there is baby oil, which a lot of people use for your wetsuit. So you can put on your skin before you put your wetsuit on, and then put it over the top of, so from your elbows down and knees down, and that just helps your wetsuit slide off quicker. Your timing chip, find what I've done with mine. Can't find where I've put mine. Don't do that on race day. So your timing chip, you'll get it because we'll be registering just that afternoon before it. You're going to be putting it on your left ankle. And the reason being, if you're riding your bike this way, left ankle, it means it's away from the chain. Just avoids any issues if that comes off there. Then what you want to do when you think you're set up, ready to go, don't forget Garmin or Bike Computer if you've got something going on there, or your wrist. Then do like a mental walkthrough. I have a little practice and go to make sure that you've remembered everything. So what I tend to do is I go, right, I've got my my goggles and my swim cap. I've run in from my swim. I'm going to dump those. Okay, I'm coming in here. I'm going sunglasses, helmet, bike shoes, off I go. Then I'm visualizing me riding around the bike course. Then I'm coming back in, running in. Now, when you come in back into transition, so you'll be coming this way, you don't want to rack by the saddle. You want to just go and rack straight on the handlebars. Again, you're trying to do everything as quickly as possible. So you're racking there, then your helmet off, bike shoes off if you haven't already got them off, into your runners, grab your hat, and off you go. All right, so just manually or visually going through that to make sure you haven't forgotten everything. One little tip for females or anyone with long hair, think about how you're gonna put your hair up. A lot of us have ponytails up here, but if you then go to put your helmet on, it won't like it. I've been caught out in races doing that before. So think about, a lot of people do a little braid or just a low ponytail. Nice little tip for those with long hair. Another one that you might bring into transition is a bike pump. If you don't have one, don't stress. There'll be a lot of people there with one. Check your tyres. So making sure that they've got air in them if you didn't before you came down or you've travelled. Then checking what gear you set up in. So I generally recommend our course is flat, so big chain ring there and somewhere in the middle at the back. So just a moderate gear, so that when you come out and you're jumping on the bike, you're not trying to grind it out or you're not spinning too fast either. So just checking that. Another little one that you might think about is where you set up your pedals. So if you're running with your bike on this side, you want that pedal away from you, because if you think you're going to go here and that pedal's near your shin, that's not going to tickle. So just having that away from you as well is just a nice little tip to have. So there we have it, transition area. I'll get my videographer just to come and have a look at how we've got set up here. Again, one way to set up your transition area. And there we have it. We look forward to seeing you at our race this year.